Greetings. Today we continue our study of the book of 2 Peter chapter 2. We'll be considering verses 15 and 16. The title is The Wages of Unrighteousness. 2 Peter 2:15 says, which have forsaken the right way and are gone astray, following the way of Balaam, the son of Bosor, who loved the wages of unrighteousness, but was rebuked for his iniquity. The dumb ass, that is the speechless donkey, speaking with man's voice, forbade the madness of the prophet. Forsaking, that is leaving or abandoning the right way, they were led astray, having followed in the way of Bosor, or Beor in the Old Testament, this is the literal, who loved a reward of an unrighteousness. But he had a rebuke of his own unique iniquity or lawlessness, a dumb, that is speechless ass or donkey, having spoken itself by means of a man's voice, it forbade, it hindered, it prevented the madness, the insanity of the prophet. The brief description summarizes Numbers 22 through 25, those chapters. Balaam becomes the poster child for one who prostitutes the gospel for material profit. We've considered the presumptuous, self-willed ones who are reserved for and headed toward an abundant condemnation when they stand before God in judgment. The man Balaam is set forth as an example of such a presumptuous, self-willed one who knowingly, willingly, and deliberately caused God's people to err in order to receive a desired reward from Balak. We must briefly summarize the long narrative from Numbers 22 through 24. First, Numbers 22:4 tells us that Balak was the king of the Moabites at that time. Second, he had heard the fame of the children of Israel in their exodus from Egypt, as well as the ability of their God to conquer any people which lay before their journey toward the promised land. Therefore, he decided that he should hire a soothsayer to cast an evil spell, a curse, upon these people to allow him to conquer them instead of them conquering him. We find this in Numbers 22:5 and 6. So verse 7 says, and the elders of Moab and the elders of Midian departed with the rewards of divination in their hand, and they came unto Balaam and spake unto him the words of Balak. In verses 8 through 11 of Numbers 22, Balaam asked the Lord what he should do in light of this proposal from King Balak. God's answer is found in Numbers 22:12. God said unto Balaam, thou shalt not go with them, thou shalt not curse the people, for they are blessed. Verses 13 and 14 record the giving of the bad news to the messengers, who then return and share the bad news with King Balak. So verse 15 says, and Balak sent yet again princes, more and more honorable than they, with an increased offer of reward that was given in verses 16 and 17. Balaam's initial response is found in verse 18, and Balaam answered and said unto the servants of Balak, if Balak would give me his house full of silver and gold, I cannot go beyond the word of the Lord my God to do less or more. An interesting answer to Balaam's second inquiry to God is found in Numbers 22:20. God came to Balaam at night and said unto him, if men come to thee, rise up and go with them. But yet the word which I shall say unto thee, that shalt thou do. Balaam rose up in the morning and saddled his ass or donkey and went with the princes of Moab. And God's anger was kindled because he went. And the angel of the Lord stood in the way for an adversary against him. Now he was riding upon his ass, and his two servants were with him. Verse 23 declares that the donkey balked and turned aside into a field, which caused Balaam to strike her in anger, to return her to the way that was going forward. But we're told that the donkey saw a danger which Balaam did not see. Verses 24 and 25 then state a second episode where the donkey crushed Balaam's foot against a vineyard wall, having seen the danger, and she was smitten a second time.